Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture, and in this lecture we are going to begin with another topic for writing section, which is article writing. Now articles, just like reports, are long pieces of work, so they are written under the long section. Now before we begin with the details of writing an article, we ought to understand what is an article and why is it written. So, writing an article is very challenging. It is a little difficult to write an article. And why is it so? Because one has to be very creative and one has to use very good vocabulary and expressions when writing an article. Now, articles are meant to be published in the magazines and newspapers and are very opinionated. Opinionated means you have an opinion of your own. So, when you write an article, you express your own views, your own ideas in that article. Now, what are the points that we need to keep in mind when writing an article? An article should have an eye-catchy heading or title. So, the title, the heading of an article should be very eye-catchy. It should be very attractive and appealing. The opening statement establishes and delimits the topic. Establishes and delimits the topic means just by reading the first sentence of an article, you can get a very clear idea on what the whole article is about. The second paragraph should begin with a rhetorical question. Now, what do we mean by a rhetorical question? Rhetorical question means a question which does not have any answer. For example, if I am writing an article on population of our country, I can always say, when are we going to control the increasing population of India? Is there an answer to it? No. Similarly, are we going to leave a healthy planet for our successors, for our future generation? Again, this is a rhetorical question because we do not have an answer to this. So, such questions to which we have no answers are known as rhetorical questions. So, it is always advisable to begin your second paragraph with a rhetorical question so that the readers, the one who is reading the article, is drawn towards it. Conjunctions such as however, therefore, although, even though and many more are to be used in the whole article to link them. Then various things about the topic, the merits, the positives, the negatives, the cause of something, the result of something, the effect of it, advantages, disadvantages, everything has to be mentioned. Conclude by summing up all the ideas or arguments stated in the article. So, the concluding statement should be the summary, the sum up of all the ideas that you have mentioned in your article. And the target audience needs to be keep in mind when writing an article. So, whosoever you are targeting to, you need to keep that in mind. Now, what is the layout, what is the format, the structure of an article? It should be eye-catching, illustrating the theme. So, the title of the article should be very eye-catching and it should explain the theme very well. The writer's name should be a part of the article all the time. Name of the writer should be written immediately after the title. So, after you've written the title, below that you'd write the name of the person writing it. There should be an introductory paragraph, the first paragraph. Establish the context through the topic sentence. What is a topic sentence now? It means the first line of your article. So, like I told you before also, that your first line of the article should actually tell us about the whole article in itself. Just after reading the first line, the reader should get to know that the article is about XYZ issue. Put a rhetorical question or begin by stating some facts. So you can even begin your sentence, your paragraph with some rhetorical question, or if there's something that you're writing about and you know certain facts about it, certain numbers are known to you. If you know the exact number, only then take the risk of writing them. Otherwise, please don't write any number out of your own, wish. Then the content should be such that it explains in detail everything about the topic of the article. Write about the merits, the positives, the negatives, the causes, the result, advantages, disadvantages, everything of the topic. At the end, how do you conclude? By stating your opinions, criticizing or recommending. So anything good, anything bad that you wish to make a mention of needs to be done at the end. And you have to conclude with a very positive note on some hope. It can be an appeal also, a request that you are making to the people, or even a warning. Now let us go through some sample articles in order to understand them better. So the first sample says, you are a very concerned citizen and are disappointed at the state of women in your country. So what is the reason that you are writing this article? Because you are concerned about the women's safety of your country. You feel sad when you see that the women are being molested, they are ill-treated, they are discriminated, and that can be seen everywhere, all across the land. So you have to write an article expressing your views on how India can be made a carefree and enjoyable place for women. So these are the hints that are given to you. You can elaborate on these points. What the nation feels about women's safety. So what are the opinions of the nation, of this entire country when it comes to women's safety? What can be done for the women of our country, and what are the steps that the women themselves can take to defend herself? Now the first thing, like I told you, is the heading. So how to make India a carefree place for women is your heading, by Navita. So the name of the person who's writing the article. A series of much publicized crimes against women has left many people wondering if India is safe for women. The gang rape of a young woman who later died aboard a private bus in Delhi in December 2012 caused a mass outrage in country. But the crimes continue taking place in different cities of India. So you see, you've begun the article on a very serious note, asking a few questions, emphasizing on something very important. India needs to address gender inequalities on many fronts, and especially at the most basic intrinsic level. Intrinsic means internal. People should be taught from within how to keep the country safe, how to keep the women of the country safe. The attitudes towards women need complete transformation, apart from all the safety measures that need to be adopted. Women need to be treated with respect, and they should be allowed to live free from fear, harm or oppression. They too have a right to breathe freely and enjoy life, which is possible only if in a carefree and safe environment. So only when we give a safe environment to the women can they enjoy their lives. It is our duty to create a culture of respect and gender equality, which are taught and practiced at home. So if you want to teach the people to treat women in a nice manner, that has to begin at home. The law enforcing agencies must make sure that public transportation is women friendly. So the public transportation should be women friendly. This has to be kept in mind, and is provided with an adequate protection system. There has to be zero tolerance for any nonsense. Women should begin to actively learn to defend themselves by gaining confidence to stand up to violence. Self-defense courses can be taken, can take place to train women to deal with untoward situation. Untoward, any adverse, anything which is not in the least expected. Above all, the general public should be more sensitized towards women and left India to emerge one day as a place which is safe, peaceful and enjoyable for the woman. So you see, in 3 to 4 paragraphs, the entire article in detail has talked about the current condition in our country. What and how do the women feel when they step out of of their homes, and what can be done in order to ensure that they are also living happily and peacefully. Let us read another sample. The system of nuclear family is on the rise. We all know what is a nuclear family. Joint family in which the whole family lives together, and nuclear family wherein the kids live with their parents, right? So, the elderly people, because of that, are losing the value and the respect that they enjoyed earlier. So the value, the respect which was given to the elderly earlier is actually falling now because of the trend of the nuclear family. As a result, the need for old age homes is also increasing. You have to write an article expressing your opinions on whether the old age homes should be there or not. And what are the points that you need to include? The reason for the growth of the old age homes, what should be done to help the aged, and the rights of an old person. So again, we begin with the topic, the title first, which is Homes for the Aged in India, by the name of the person who's writing this article. Change is the law of nature. So the article has I'm beginning the article on a very intellectual and a very wise note that change is the law of nature. So nature expects us to change. The world has witnessed many unprecedented changes in the last 100 years. The disintegration of the joint family system is one such painful change. Disintegration, the breaking of the joint family system in India, is one such change which has caused a lot of pain to people. Industrialization and urbanization have brought disintegration at a crushing speed. And according to the writer, the reason behind this is because of the growing industrialization, because of the growing modernization that has come up in the society. The breakup of the joint family system has led to many social and cultural problems. The elderly people are getting neglected as a result of the nuclear setup of families. The country is not fully prepared to deal with the problems of the aged people. The need of the hour is to have adequate homes for the aged in India, Europe and America. They have been made to address the problem of the aged people. So in these 3 countries, primarily, the need for the old age homes is increasing. They have homes and exclusive settlements for their senior citizens. So they've actually made homes and places where the senior citizens can live. They provide all the necessary comforts and facilities for the aged. So in those homes, all the comforts, all the facilities are given to the aged people. Diseases and disabilities are the constant companions for the old. We all know when you get older, Two things that always follow you are diseases and disabilities. You are unable to do one thing or the other. Proper medical treatment and facilities are necessary. Nutritious but light food is the need of the aged people. Such homes, so these old age homes that we are talking about, they do provide all the comforts and the facilities. The aged person too has a right to a decent living, and according to the writer, there is nothing wrong with having, with building these old age homes, because even the aged people have the right to live a decent life. Their old and tired bones need rest and peace. So even their bones that are very tired and old, even they need to rest well. They should not depend on the mercy of their children. So the old age people should not depend on their children, nor should they be thrown at the charity of the people. Only such homes can help them to lead a decent and respectable life. And according to the writer, it is only these old age homes that are the solution to a respectable and a decent life which every old person deserves. So dear students, as you've just seen, article writing is comparatively bigger, is longer in content as compared to the other, pieces of writing. And it needs you to have a good and a strong vocabulary and needs you to be very expressive. In 2 to 3 paragraphs, you can explain the topic which is given to you. And please remember that it is important for you to begin the article with a heading followed by the writer and then continuing with the article. So I hope, my dear students, the topic of article writing is clear to you. So I will see you all now in my next lecture.